Dive into captivating content, thought-provoking discussions, and amazing adventures as we explore the limitless possibilities together. This is your gateway to a world of discovery. The Ku Klux Klan, KKK, is a white supremacist hate group active in the United States since the late 19th century. The KKK is known for using violence, intimidation, and terrorism to suppress the rights of African Americans and other minority groups. It was founded in 1865 by 6 former Confederate soldiers in Pulaski, Tennessee. The group's original goal was to oppose the Reconstruction era and to maintain white supremacy in the South. The KKK used various methods to achieve its goals, including cross burnings, lynchings, and other acts of violence. The KKK's activities declined in the early 20th century but experienced a revival in the 1920s. During this period, the KKK had millions of members and was active in many parts of the United States. The KKK's activities declined again in the 1960s, but it has experienced a resurgence in recent years. The KKK is a dangerous and hate-filled organization. Its members have been responsible for numerous acts of violence and intimidation. The KKK threatens all American safety and security, regardless of race or ethnicity. During Ulysses S. Grant's presidency, the South was plagued by a wave of terror orchestrated by white supremacists. Southern Democrats formed groups that used violence to intimidate African Americans and Republicans who sought political power, openly defying the Republican-led federal government. One of the most prominent organizations was the Ku Klux Klan, which originated in Pulaski, Tennessee in 1865. Initially serving as a social club for former Confederate soldiers, the Klan became a terrorist group responsible for numerous deaths. Its actions aimed to weaken the political influence of Southern blacks and Republicans. Acts of racism in the South often manifested as riots targeting African Americans and Republicans. In 1866, a dispute between whites and black ex-soldiers escalated into a violent riot in Memphis, Tennessee. White police officers supported the mob as it rampaged through black neighborhoods, resulting in 46 deaths, 70 injuries, and destroyed churches and schools. 2 months later, a similar outbreak occurred in New Orleans, where a white mob attacked attendees of a black suffrage convention, killing 37 blacks and 3 white allies. Amid this atmosphere of violence, the Ku Klux Klan grew in size and power. By 1868, the Klan had evolved into a hooded terrorist organization referred to by its members as the Invisible Empire of the South. Nathan Bedford Forrest, a Confederate general during the Civil War, became the Klan's first leader, the Grand Wizard. Individuals from various social classes in the white Southern society joined the ranks of the Klan. To maintain white-dominated order, Klansmen punished newly emancipated blacks for various reasons, including perceived impudence towards whites. They physically assaulted teachers in freedmen schools and burned down the schools. However, the Klan's primary objective was eradicating Republican influence in the South by terrorizing and murdering party leaders and supporters. As the 1868 presidential election approached, the Klan intensified its activities, becoming more ruthless. The election was crucial as it pitted Republican Ulysses S. Grant against Democrat Horatio Seymour. Republicans aimed to continue programs that prevented Southern whites from gaining political control in their states. The Klan members understood that given the opportunity, the blacks in their communities would vote Republican. Across the South, the Klan and other terrorist groups employed brutal violence to intimidate Republican voters. In states like Arkansas, over 2,000 murders were committed in connection with the election, while Georgia witnessed an even higher number of threats and beatings. In Louisiana, approximately 1,000 blacks were killed as the election drew near. Democrats emerged victorious in those 3 states by a significant margin. Ironically, the Klan's violent actions backfired by convincing many Northerners that the South had not learned its lesson from the recent war. This realization led to the understanding that more stringent laws were necessary to quell the violence and protect African Americans in the South. Consequently, laws were enacted to address these issues. Additional legislation directly targeted the Klan. Between 1870 and 1871, Congress passed the Enforcement Acts, criminalizing interference with the registration, voting, holding of office, or jury service of black individuals. Over 5,000 people faced indictments under these laws, resulting in slightly over 1,000 convictions. As discussed earlier, the Ku Klux Klan, KKK, is a white supremacist hate group that originated in the United States in the 19th century. The KKK is known for its history of violence, terrorism, and racial intolerance, particularly targeting African Americans. The group has also targeted other minority groups, such as Jews, immigrants, and Catholics, throughout its existence. The KKK's origins can be traced back to the Reconstruction era following the American Civil War, when it was formed by Confederate veterans in 1865. The organization aimed to restore white supremacy in the South and suppress African American civil and political rights. The Klan used intimidation tactics, including cross-burnings, lynchings, and violence, to terrorize and oppress African Americans and their allies. They experienced multiple periods of resurgence and decline throughout its history. In the early 20th century, during the height of its power, the KKK expanded its reach beyond the South and gained influence in other regions of the United States. However, internal divisions, scandals, public opposition, and government intervention led to a decline in the KKK's influence by the 1940s. In contemporary times, while the KKK still exists, its influence has significantly diminished compared to its earlier years. Society widely condemns the group for its racist ideology and acts of violence. It is important to note that promoting or participating in any form of hate group or supremacist ideology goes against the principles of equality, respect, and tolerance. There have been several cases in recent years where KKK members have been sentenced to life in prison. The reactions of these KKK members to their sentences have varied. Some have expressed remorse for their actions, while others have remained defiant. In one case, a KKK member named Edgar Ray Killen was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of 3 civil rights workers in Mississippi in 1964. Killen expressed no remorse for his actions and maintained his innocence until he died in 2018. In another case, a KKK member named Thomas Blanton was sentenced to life in prison for the bombing of a Birmingham church in 1963 that killed 4 black children. Blanton expressed remorse for his actions and apologized to the victims' families. The reactions of KKK members to life sentences are likely to vary depending on the individual. Some KKK members may be remorseful for their actions and see their life sentences as a way to atone for their sins. Others may remain defiant and see their life sentences as a way to martyr themselves for the cause. It is important to note that not all KKK members are violent. Some KKK members are simply racist and hold hateful views. However, the KKK has a long history of violence, and many KKK members have been involved in the murder of black people and other minorities. The life sentences of KKK members are a reminder of the dangers of hate and intolerance. They also warn others who may be tempted to join the KKK or engage in similar activities. It is important to note that the KKK is a white supremacist organization with a long history of promoting racial hatred and violence. Its members have been involved in numerous hate crimes and acts of domestic terrorism throughout history. If KKK members were to receive life sentences, their reactions would likely vary. Some might view it as a badge of honor, considering themselves martyrs for their cause. They might see the sentence as confirmation of their beliefs and continue to hold on to their extremist ideologies. Others might feel angry and frustrated, viewing their imprisonment as suppressing their freedom of speech and association. It is also possible that some individuals, upon facing the reality of a life sentence, may experience regret or remorse for their actions. They might reflect on the harm they have caused and the damage inflicted on individuals and communities. In such cases, they might seek to distance themselves from their past involvement with the KKK and work towards personal growth and rehabilitation. Ultimately, the reactions of KKK members to life sentences would depend on their personal beliefs, level of commitment to the organization, and individual circumstances. It is important to remember that the KKK's ideology is widely condemned due to its history of hate, violence, and discrimination. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and spread positivity.